Sometimes you just gotta be more disciplined. Sometimes you gotta be irrational in your actions to develop the discipline muscle to then be a little bit more rational in your decisions. Working out 2 times a day, 3 times a day, for most people, it's not necessarily a rational or the best way to do things. However, sometimes for some people, to get into new activities and new habits, they have to do irrational things. It's more of a trigger in their brain. It's the argument of, well, am I doing this for health or am I doing this for the mental benefits? Do I go into the sauna when it's 120 degrees Celsius and just absolutely burn myself for rounds of 10 minutes straight, 3 rounds? Is that for my health or is that for the mental fortitude? I would argue it's more for the mental fortitude than it is for the health, to the point where your skin is burning and you can barely even sit on the seat. Now, the difference is that people try to get all nitpicky and sensitive about it. Oh, well, it's not the best thing to do for your health. Well, sometimes you just should stop being a pussy and you should just fucking do it. Sometimes you need to just switch your brain and go fucking beast mode. And that does involve sometimes being irrational. It does, okay? If you want extraordinary results, sometimes you just gotta do extraordinary things. It's just the way that it works. And people who have the capacity to do things that people deem as crazy are the ones who will go ahead and get those extraordinary results. So, if you want to actually accomplish cool things, great things, whether it's you wanna get gains or you wanna make a shit ton of money, or you just want to have an extraordinary life, well, start challenging your mind. Make a habit out of challenging your mind. Back in the day, when I used to do personal training, I would wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym and train my clients in the middle of winter. And I would immediately get up. I would jump first thing into the cold shower during the middle of winter. I would get brain freezes from the showers. And then instantly I would jump into the car. I would blast the cold aircon and shut all the windows to the point where I'm just literally driving for 20 minutes, shaking in my seat, just because it was just me by myself at like 4:30 a.m. driving, like a fucking retard, for no reason other than don't be a pussy. So I would go to the gym, and it was just a way to start the day to say, I'll do what I want. I can do it. And if you can stack shit like that, you build a lot of confidence within yourself. You build a lot of confidence because you know that you can do things that you put your mind to. That when you say you're going to do something, you will do it because you practice it on micro levels every single day. That's the point of developing discipline to go to the gym. That's the point of eating particular foods that maybe you don't want to eat, but it's good for your performance. That's the point of doing certain things that make you uncomfortable. That's the point. It's just little bits of proof to yourself that you can do what you say you're going to do. It's how you build self-esteem. It's how you build confidence. So now when you say you're going to do something and it has a great result behind it, you don't doubt yourself. You just do it. Hell yeah, I'm going to go accomplish that. Oh no, you can't. Dude, I prove to myself every day I do what I say I'm going to do. Now I've got a reason to do this. It's not just some fucking dumb cold shit at 4 a.m. in the morning before I go train my clients. Hell yeah, I'm going to do that shit. I prove to myself every day. I didn't need a reason to do that stuff. It's not even that it's hard. Like, there's way harder shit, but you get what I'm saying. It might be hard relative to where you're at right now, but eventually you just keep stacking it to the point where you look fucking crazy to the outside world, but you've developed a pain tolerance. The ones who develop the pain tolerance will simply just do better, because the more pain you can put yourself through, well, when it comes to the tasks that you got to do, when it comes to accomplishing any goal that you have, you're used to it. You've been primed, you've been trained. That's why when people go to the gym and you constantly put yourself through pressure of weights, bars, weights on your back, and then you go about your day for meetings or calls or whatever, nothing can really make you feel stressed. You've just been picking heavy shit up and putting it back down several times. You built up your pain tolerance physically. So when someone comes to you, oh, this negotiation deal, you're like, dude, I can pick you up. I can pick you up. You're weak. How much do you weigh? 60 kilos? You're built. And there's nothing more primal than building your physical strength in this world. People go a bit too far one way sometimes of just the logical brain, be smart and say, hey, you gotta do both. Don't neglect both, the mental and the physical. You know, put yourself through some physical shit, not just mental, and vice versa. For the guys who are straight into bodybuilding and then they don't do anything for their mental and they're just doing bodybuilding over and over again, it's like, the fuck is the point in that? Now you're just gonna be living that life. Why don't you do both? That's why the stereotype of, oh, he's all just muscle, he must be stupid. Fuck that stereotype, man. It's true, there's some people like that, don't get me wrong. But it has nothing to do with whether they're jacked or not. A lot of people who are jacked are also very smart and disciplined. It says a lot about their character. It's actually quite the minority who really have an impressive physique. You know, they might jump on a cycle for a couple of weeks and then immediately fall off track and go back to normal, and they're just constantly yo-yoing, jumping on and off gear. It's the reality. So don't neglect either. Put yourself through pain physically and mentally. Obviously, appropriate pain. You know what I'm saying? And yes, the mental as well. It's like progressive overload for your brain. For some people, doing a cold shower is fucking hard for them. I'm gonna dip my toes in the shower. How you approach a cold shower says a lot about how you approach life. You dip your toes in, warm yourself up a little bit, or do the warm shower first and then cold after. Says a lot about how you live life. Do you just jump right in? You give it a go? Or you're tiptoeing? So the whole point is, there's a time to just do irrational shit. Build up your pain tolerance. Stop being a fucking pussy. If there was none of this like computer shit, and days were just straight primal, it would be a test of who can just fucking be smart and strong. You know? So don't neglect either of them. Be mentally strong, be physically strong, so you get the best of both worlds. Then you truly have an advantage in life. That's why when I coach my clients, I give them the physical game plan, but I talk a lot about the mental. It's both. You can have the perfect game plan as well, but if you don't have that mental capacity to push, you're not going to get impressive physical results. So they're not separate, they're synergistic. Don't neglect either. Develop mental grit and physical grit. And a lot of it just comes down to mental grit, because the mental grit will allow you to do the physical grit. But don't just apply it to mental tasks, apply it to physical tasks too. When you can walk around with a strong, powerful physique, it says things without you having to say a word. When you walk into a room, it turns heads. People will respect you because they know you can fuck them up.